This girl who never writes has now snapped 90 pencils. The teacher approached in bewilderment, only to discover the girl had densely covered the paper with endless numbers. The teacher told her to stop, but she wrote more frantically instead. Helpless, the teacher confiscated her paper. From that day on, the girl seemed transformed. She'd stand on the playground, staring blankly at the sky, unresponsive even when teachers called to her. Then one night, she vanished. After searching, teachers found her in the school basement. Soon after, the school sent her to a psychiatric facility. 50 years flew by. On this day, the school hosted a welcome ceremony for new students. The principal unveiled a time capsule sealed for 50 years, containing artworks by the first students envisioning the future. The principal gifted these drawings, rockets of tomorrow, robots of the future. But Xiao Shui received a peculiar drawing, covered in densely scribbled, mysterious numbers. He couldn't decipher their meaning, yet since they held significance. At home, he showed the drawing to his father, Professor Wei. Wei, an astronomy professor, couldn't interpret the numbers either. To satisfy his son's curiosity, he attempted to decode them. As an astronomy expert, calculation and deduction were his strengths. He transcribed a sequence of numbers. Research brought a revelation. The initial digits resembled a date. An online search confirmed. It matched the date of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The death toll in this disaster matches exactly the number following the date. This chilling coincidence spurred him to verify his theory. Professor Wei urgently transcribed the remaining sequences. He began scouring the internet using these dates. But the unimaginable awaited. Each set of numbers corresponded to a historical catastrophe, with matching casualty figures. Stunned, he realized this paper originated 50 years prior. How could the girl who wrote it foresee future tragedies? Wei confided in his friend John, revealing 3 impending disasters yet to unfold. The first cataclysm strikes tomorrow, bringing 8 billion casualties. John dismissed it as madness, demanding, "What do the numbers after death tolls signify?" Wei had no immediate answer, but insisted the patterns were intentional, begging John to locate the next disaster zone and potentially prevent it. John remained unconvinced. He thought Wei had lost his mind. Left with no choice, Wei pursued this alone. He returned home, glued to news broadcasts, determined to verify the coming catastrophe. Past midnight, he monitored global news channels. Yet dawn arrived without disaster reports. Wei dismissed his fears until his commute revealed sudden gridlock engulfing the roads. Amid the standstill, he called John. "Apologies, my friend. Don't be angry. The prophecy was wrong. No disaster occurred." Then his eyes locked onto navigation coordinates. Why does this look so familiar? He frantically pulled out the note to examine it. Sure enough, identical coordinates to the navigation appeared on the paper. Following the casualty figures were latitude and longitude coordinates. If so, Wei's current location was the epicenter of this impending disaster. Could this traffic jam be caused by an accident ahead? Wei sprinted from the car to investigate. Witnesses confirmed a collision had occurred further up the road. Miraculously, no injuries were reported. But as the officer spoke, he spotted something ahead and fled in terror. Wei turned to see a massive airliner plummeting vertically toward the earth. A thunderous explosion erupted nearby, propelling Wei toward the chaos without hesitation. Torrential rain now hammered down, powerless against the raging inferno. Before Wei could reach survivors, a secondary blast disintegrated fleeing passengers into ash. Consumed by guilt, Wei watched helplessly, tormented by the thought that recognizing the coordinates sooner might have prevented this catastrophe. News reports at home confirmed the exact death toll, 81 victims. Determined to prevent recurrence, Wei resolved to act. His first mission, locate the prophetic student who anticipated disasters, perhaps holding prevention. The principal revealed to Wei. The numbers were penned by a girl named Jenny. This very artwork was confiscated by me decades ago. Regrettably, Jenny passed away 2 years ago. But luckily, she has a daughter who might notice something. Then, Wei followed the address the principal gave him, and quickly located Jenny's residence. Just then, he spotted Jenny's daughter and her children heading out. He followed the woman to the museum and seized the chance to strike up a conversation. After a brief chat, he learned her name was Julie, and that she, like Wei, was a single parent. They were chatting amiably until Wei brought up her mother. Julie froze. Wei grabbed her arm, insisting her mother could foresee the future. A major disaster has already struck, and another hits tomorrow, costing 200 lives. He begged Julie to help prevent it. but she warned him to stay away. She left with her daughter, forcing Wei to act alone, deciphering the numbers' clues. He soon pinpointed the next disaster site. Wei called the police. A disaster strikes tomorrow. Seal off the area now. Then he hung up abruptly. Next day, he arrived at the site, anxious. To his shock, police hadn't cordoned it off. Wei scanned his surroundings, dreading the impending catastrophe. Desperate to find its source, he reached the subway station and soon spotted a suspicious individual. Their eyes met. The man darted off, Wei in pursuit. The suspect bolted onto a train as police drew their weapons. He could be the terrorist. Wei Yuji. Officers advanced cautiously. But who would have thought he wasn't a bad guy at all? He was just a videotape seller when suddenly a train derailed in the tunnel, plowing straight towards Wei's train. He screamed for everyone to evacuate, but it was too late. Many couldn't escape in time, crushed by the speeding train. The devastating impact leveled the station instantly. The prophecy came true. Miraculeusly, Wei survived. Back home, Julie unexpectedly came to him, determined to prevent the next catastrophe. She confessed her resentment stemmed from her mother's prophecy. She died in a car crash on October 19, just 3 days away. Julie had refused to believe it, until the subway disaster proved everything true. But they were puzzled by the final entry, just October 19th on the note. No coordinates, no casualty count. Only 2 letters. Seeking answers, they searched Jenny's old house for clues. Wei noticed newspaper clippings, covering the walls, all documenting disasters. They found nothing useful after hours of searching. As Wei turned to leave, he spotted pebbles under the bed. Crawling closer, he discovered they formed cryptic numbers. Lifting the mattress, he gasped. E stood for everyone on Earth. The final prophecy meant total extinction in 3 days. Suddenly, a blaring horn echoed outside. They rushed out into the night. It was my son. He accidentally honked the horn. He then explained he was just sitting in the car with his sister. Suddenly, a stranger appeared and tried to take them away. Alert! Wei scanned his surroundings and immediately sensed something amiss. The man was nearby. Wei quickly drew a pistol, urging Julie to lock the car doors, then raced after the man. Unexpectedly, the fleeing man halted. Wei demanded, "Who are you?" But the mysterious man remained silent. He slowly turned, locking eyes with Wei. Then, he opened his mouth, a blinding light shot forth. Wei instinctively shielded his eyes. When he recovered, the mysterious man had vanished. He couldn't grasp why the man wanted to take the children. But Wei sensed a connection to the impending disaster. Julie added she'd felt watched lately. Could it be him? Yet their priority now was decoding the final prediction. Julie believed the last digits might be her mother's delirious scribbles. Her mental state was deteriorating then. She refused to accept a cataclysm. What disaster could obliterate humanity? What kind of catastrophe could possibly wipe out all of humanity? That night, Xiao Shuai awoke too. Voices whispering around him. Terrified, he sat up, only to find the mysterious man reappearing. Xiao Shuai broke into a cold sweat. The man pointed behind him. The window blazed with light. Entranced, Xiao Shuai drifted to the window. Outside, the world burned. Meanwhile, animals wail in distress as the flames grow fiercer. The entire house is about to be consumed. Suddenly, Wei hears a cry. He rushes upstairs to find his son huddled in a corner, weeping. It was all Xiao Shuai's nightmare. Wei comforts his son, but then, he spots the mysterious man reappearing. Grabbing an iron rod, he gives chase. The man vanishes into the woods once more. Next morning, Wei finds Julie's daughter drawing. "What are you drawing?" he asks. "The sun," she shows him. A realization strikes Wei. He rushes to the observatory to check solar data. Anomalies detected last month. After calculations, he uncovers the disaster's cause. If correct, the sun will erupt in a superflare, destroying Earth's ozone layer. When the ozone layer vanishes, all life will perish instantly. Wei springs into action. He must find a way to save humanity before disaster strikes. He informs Julie immediately. She suggests taking the children to a bomb shelter. Wei reluctantly agrees. It's their only option. For now. As they pack, Wei notices something strange about his son. Xiao Shuai is scribbling numbers on paper, just like Jenny did years ago. Wei snatches the paper, but the boy keeps writing. Staring at the numbers, Wei falls deep in thought. Then, he immediately drove to the school where Julie's mother had been. He recalled the principal's words to him. The numbers on that prophetic paper were incomplete. The remaining digits were carved into the basement door. Perhaps the numbers on the door panel could help avert the disaster. Soon after, Away found the door. He took the door home, leaving Julie perplexed. She believed the safest option now was to take shelter underground. Away kept scrubbing the door panel. Julie had to evacuate both children to the Shortly after, Away uncovered the remaining numbers. But the coordinates pointed to Julie's mother's old house. By then, Julie had already left with the children. Now, she stopped at a gas station. While refueling, news about the solar superflare played on TV. Police urged everyone to seek shelter in basements. Just then, the mysterious man reappeared. He swiftly took both children away. Julie saw this and immediately pursued them. But unexpectedly, she crashed midway. When Away found Julie, she was beyond saving. True to the prophecy, she died in a car crash. Time was critical now. Retrieving the children was paramount. Away rushed to Julie's mother's old house. He found Julie's car, but the children weren't inside. As Away scanned the area, the mysterious man reappeared. Away demanded to know where the children were, but the man remained silent. Suddenly, the children reappeared beside Away, each cradling a rabbit. More mysterious figures arrived. Xiao Shuai explained, "They're not bad people. They're here to protect us." Wei inquired about the figure's identity once more, yet received no response. Suddenly, a fierce gust swept through. As a luminescent object descended slowly in the heavens, an alien spacecraft had arrived. Wei collapsed to his knees in awe. These enigmatic beings were extraterrestrials. As Shuai moved forward with his father, the figures blocked their path, allowing passage only for those they had selected. Wei felt no sorrow. His son's safety was solace enough. Silently, he watched the children board the vessel that glided through the cosmos. Other identical crafts departed Earth, seeking new worlds for humanity's survival. When Wei reached the city, streets teemed with refugees. Order devolved into ruin. Unfazed, Wei resolved to spend his final hours with family at home. The solar flare erupted. Scorching waves engulfed the planet, fulfilling the final prophecy. All Earth's life forms vanished. Yet extinction was averted. The evacuated children would bear the torch of human civilization across the stars.